but we're going to learn lots. I think the U.S. has opened the door to the idea that we do have to change our political system. When, Trump got in under his campaigning style, which seems foreign to us in Canada, but out here in the West, we see that technique of slandering and jargon happening more and more. Alberta is little Texas now, where we're getting that influence really strong. We got 20% of the population that makes it like they're 50, 60% of the vocals, and they're actually getting governments elected in here because people aren't showing up to vote that have level critical thinking. And I see a problem with that, and that's US politics coming. It's strong in Alberta, it's strong in the West, and it's going to find its way into Canada unless we are vigilant and make sure our political system is fair and equitable. I see Trumpism a real potential problem in Canada.
Looking at the map, you can see that most of Western Canada, at least area-wise, went PC.
Correct. But at
If you're
PC, they out in the West, they could run donkey. It wouldn't matter. They market slander of everybody else, yet the PCs and conservatives out here are some of the worst perpetrators of bad acts and wills against the people of like Alberta. There's no reason we should be broke and when whining that we can't pay the bills and blah blah blah. We should be the wealthiest province or area in North America and South America. That's how much oil we have. And but when you're squandering your resources and you're putting mismanagement into play to line the pockets of other people, the money disappears. Like, that's not acceptable anymore, especially since the US has come out and said, hey, we want to declare war on Canada. Well, you've already declared war on Alberta many times over the last century and trying to get our oil, and you've literally got our oil for next to nothing. And we have nothing to show for our oil. When the oil runs out, we just get stuck with the abandonment costs and the cleanup and the environmental. So by Trump coming in to power, it's shown that it's time to wake up. I mean, we need to stand up, protect what's ours, make sure we protect the future of Alberta and Canada, and quit a fake fight with Ottawa. Ottawa is not the problem. It's the Alberta government influencing the Western provinces, saying that we should be giving our oil to Texas for next to nothing and be thankful that we got the jobs in the oil field, and all Texas ever gave us was boom and bust. When head office in Texas needed more profits, they cut the jobs in Alberta and all the money went out of the province. We've had a boom and bust economy in the oil industry when there's no need for that. There's absolutely no need for that. It's time for change, and it's time for people to be told what really went on. Like, are you aware that in 1979, the start of one of the biggest problems was Alberta sold its second or third largest cash generator to the province of Alberta? That was the Alberta Gas trunk line. It built pipelines to get our gas and oil out of the province. It was formed in 1956 by the government to make sure that we got our oil and gas to coastal waters. And up until recently, the Liberals pushed a pipeline to coastal waters. There was no pipeline since 1956 pushed to coastal waters. No conservative government ever did it. After the pipeline was sold in 1979 by Peter Lougheed, of all people, Lougheed later retired from politics and got a job with Bennett Jones, senior member Bennett Jones, and Bennett Jones has the largest Canadian law practice in Texas, and we've been making sure oil's been going north-south to Texas ever since, and that law firm makes a lot of money off of business in Texas. So when you start looking into it, when we lost all that money from transmission costs and the cost of oil companies using the pipelines, we lost a lot of money. And my estimations is Alberta lost close to $3 or $4 trillion since 1979, just because we sold off and divested our interests in crown corporations. Crown corporations bring money to the coffers of the government to lower your taxes. And if they're profitable, they're lowering your taxes. And if they're profitable, private corporation wants to take them over, put the money in their pockets, which increases your tax liability, so up go your taxes. But I digress. That's another hot take again in politics. The point was that Trump has brought to light that we need to go dig out all these skeletons in our closet in the West to show where all the money's been squandered, blown apart, and we've only had conservative movements here. And conservative movements, when they're in power, like when Harper is in power, we knew we were short pipelines. We knew we were had a one market for our oil, and Harper was from Calgary. He never built no pipeline. He all he did was sell off crown corporations, which increased your taxes because now you have the profits went to private individuals instead of to lowering your tax income. But anyway, Cal, what's your take on things? Missed
Well,
anything, or
I'm yeah,
you look
I'm trying to
disinterested?
I'm trying to figure out, trying to make the circle out of the square.